Good morning. It is Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B. live on the Lions Villain Squad Network, Motor City Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions, and also Football Talk 365. We got Dwayne Keene and Henry Gray in the chat already this morning. Good morning, my One Pride family. Good morning to all. We've gotten some great news, and it's good news all the way around with Detroit. Also, breaking news, Amon Ra is a part of the new show coming out on Netflix, the second season of their position series by Omaha Productions, Receiver. And Amon Ra St. Brown is going to be a part of it. A Detroit fan, man, but what will mock drafters do now that the Lions have CB's DT, OG, and no real open holes on the roster? I know. I've been addressing that when I do my mock drafts, Detroit fan, man. And once OG is filled, I still think we need one, but he'll be more to fill in as of next year, so we don't really have to hit him in the first round, do we? Or even the second round. I think they might go wide receiver now at the end of the first. I love the signing of Kevin Zeitler. I love the contract at $6 million against the cap because they threw him a $1 million bonus that doesn't even count against the cap. Great deal. DJ Reader's contract came out. It's all good. We got Ricky Sakata in the chat. Fred Peterson. What's up, Fruity Fred? I've been doing some morning reading and morning chatting with a few of you good men this morning. That being said, let's get the intro going and get the show on the road. Tina Pasquarelli signs into the chat as well. Let's get this going.
Out there, here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Jones.
Now we got Paul Jones in the house too. The whole fam damly's here. How's it going? One pride this morning. Yeah, Amon Ra is going to be on the new season of the By Position show on Netflix. No quarterbacks want to do it. So Amon Ra, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and a few others said, sure, why not? Amon Ra is doing good to grow his brand. And so far, it looks like it has nothing to do with golf and everything to have to do with the years of the contract. He doesn't want to be here for just another 3 or 4 years. He wants to be here 5 or 6. I say they let him. What do you think? Restore the fucking roar. You know it, Ricky. But let's go over this DJ Reader contract. He's only getting 5.3 million the first year and 12.7 the rest. I love the Zeitler signing, Tim. Absolutely. Uh, but the DJ Reader contract came out and it was 5.3 for year one plus incentives and 12.7 for year two cap hit next year. So that means Let me go into the what I'm gonna go into, Orlando. I don't wanna talk about it. I done. I don't like Worthy. He has a higher drop rate, and he's a flash in the guy. We already got a guy Goff can't get the ball to in stride. Why get another one? I like Adonai Mitchell better. But, let me keep on track, people. Please. Too many questions all at once. Uh, 5.3 million the first year, 12.3 this 12.7 the second. So, it's a great signing for Reader. Way cheaper than everybody thought. And it makes more sense to do it that way. We have way more money in year 2. So and it's avoidable year if necessary. And a little bit goes on the back end in year 3 with them off the roster. Great move by Matt Dunstill. He's our capologist. He's the one that makes these contracts. Brad Holmes just decides who we're going after. Matt Dunstill is the one. Uh, Also, Zeitler, we signed him for 6 plus $1 million in incentives and bonus that don't count against the cap. So that's got to go against it. Right now, we're at 27.3. DPJ, Scott Daly, Zeitler, and Dorsey have not been counted yet. Orlando, nobody's messing with them. They're just discussing it. It's nothing. It's not a big deal because if it was a big deal, it would be something in the news already. In between Davis restructuring his deal and everything else, yes, and he will. 26 to 28 million for Amon-Ra St. Brown is right about what he deserves. It is not about the money. He's happy about the money. So I love it. I love everything they're doing right now. They got all year to get the extension done because he's under contract this year. It's nothing to worry about. He already said on his podcast he's not going to hold out. So why worry about it? He got a $10 million bonus this year for his performance last year. He's making 14 technically. 10 million not against the cap. That's a huge thing. And Jefferson is a different receiver than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Nowhere did I say better. He's a different style of receiver. Got to look at it from both sides there. I refuse to look at other people's contracts and have it worry about what the Lions do. No, I don't look at Kuiper's mock drafts because they makes as much sense as wiping your butt than taking a crap, Tim. That being said, let me get in here and see the other things I wanted to talk about. I know I wrote a couple things down. Kuiper's draft has been dog water for years. Facts there, Leonard. Mel Kiper is the reason why Matt Mellon sucked. He always went just next best one available. Here's the great what's Goff looking for contract wise? It's way more than everybody thinks. And it's not what Goff's looking for, it's his agent. His agent turned down 43 million right around the bye week. So he's got to be looking for 46 to 50 plus. But Lions signed Pro Bowl guard Kevin Zeitler to a 1-year, $7 million deal. Like I said, 6 million against the cap. It's a way better signing than re-signing Jonah Jackson. He's played in 115 plus straight games. He missed one game at the beginning of that year with the Giants 3 years ago, And unless Goff gets us to the Super Bowl and wins, I don't see him getting that big extension. That's just me. I know Dan Leonard hates Goff. He lets it be known. But like I said, I am warm today. I actually think we do go wide receiver. We're either going wide receiver or a guard to sit behind Zeitler or a center to sit behind Ragnow. Nope, they said if there was no deal done with Goff by free agency, he's probably not getting one, and he's okay with playing out the year. Jeffrey Addison's in, president accounting for. I'm not the guy that created the news. I'm the guy that just reports what I've read. And when a guy like Jeff Risdon and Tim Twentyman says stuff like that, guess what? It's not happening. Yeah, draft O-line for depth, pay Zeitler half of what Jonah would cost. Actually, we paid him 10 million per year less than what Jonah would cost. They were either going to go, they were either going to get somebody in free agency, but they had to clear cap. And if Carlton Davis didn't agree to restructure and be a Lion, guess what? We wouldn't have got him. And yeah, I agree with you, Leonard. If Goff was getting extended, he would want to raise this year and would have totally messed up the cap. And we don't have the cap room to give him a pay raise this year right now. We give him a pay raise, then who you cutting? Yeah, I want to see what Hooker does in the preseason myself, Tim, before I make that decision. And I think that's what the Lions are doing too. Hendon Hooker is practicing. He's been practicing since last November, Tina. I don't think we're taking an edge in round one because I doubt one falls. You only got four guys there, and they're all slated to be top 15 picks. You got Jared Verse, Dallas Turner, um, Chop Robinson, yeah, Matt Dunstill. He was the guy that the Commanders tried to poach to be their GM. He's our CFO. I doubt Chop falls. I don't know how 29 becomes very tradable. Yeah, I mean, look at it last year. We were selling out preseason games last year, and all because we signed Teddy Bridgewater, who barely played. We were running out David Blow out there for God's sake. Hey, what's up, guy? Mr. Facebook user. It's going to be a great year. I don't know why, but I feel like the same record is very much in play again. The 12-5 record. I say between 10 and 13 wins, and the ceiling is 12. Everybody got better, but guess what? We're better than we were too. Does anybody feel like this team is in worse shape than it was last year? I know exactly what Hooker looked like at Tennessee, and that's what I'm excited to see if he can still do it here. Yeah, Mike Greenbird's an asshat. He doesn't understand. Oh, it's Walt. What's up, buddy? I try to do this every day. Would that be Walter Stringer there? Yeah, deep ball looked amazing at Tennessee. He also looked good reading the defense, going to his first, second, third, and even fourth options before he took off. I have important questions, Jeremy. How can they put two top quarterbacks on the same team? And I'm talking about Fields and Russell. Right. I understand one funky Lions fan. I've let people know. Um, you know what? Justin Fields is the contingency plan if Russell Wilson looks exactly like he did at the Broncos. And I expect that it will happen. I think Russell Wilson will probably start to flounder. They need interior O line bad. They're not better at interior O line, which is the same thing they struggled with Denver. So I think you'll see Fields before week 8, and he'll get his 51% of the snaps, and that snack bag of Pringles that was the 6th round pick for Chicago will end up the 4th round pick, so they get a full bag of chips instead of a half eaten snack size bag of chips, if that makes sense. Mike Tomlin already said Russell Wilson's going to be the starter. Justin Fields is the backup, which leans credence to everything that was said prior to 3 weeks ago when the reports came out that nobody was offering anything. I love the job that Brad Holmes is doing. And if that's you, kudos, my man. Great job. It could be Detroit fan, man. Chris Spielman is a better evaluator than a lot of people give him credit for. I think they'll have to trade up to draft JJ Tim. I think JJ's going probably at 6 to the Giants. I know Dan Leonard hates that. And Walt, you're absolutely right. After the Pickett disaster, Pister said, "Never again. We're getting two QBs just in case." But the bad part is Russell Wilson can read a defense. He just doesn't have the arm he used to. But Justin Fields can't read a defense and has a better arm. So I don't know which is going to be worse for him. So apparently the NFL is taking a draft pick from San Francisco for cap shenanigans. Yes. I heard JJ is 100% going to the Giants, and it's going to be either Jalen Daniels or Drake May at 3, unless nobody takes Caleb and he falls. You mean Zinter? Orlando Escobar Jr.? Yeah, he might. You watch. That more the man speaks out in public, the dumber he looks. I'm sorry, I can't stand Caleb's attitude. He goes, yes, whoops. Zinter will 100% be a 4th round pick for somebody, but we don't have a 4th round pick. I mean, I kind of hate what they did to Justin Fields. David Pike would never ever say that. That is a fake account for Motor City Mania. I'd also like the record to reflect how wildly optimistic I feel after a free agent haul where re-signing the kicker was the biggest disappointment. The Kool-Aid's delicious, boys. Who else a hurt faller? There could be Latu, um, Kool-Aid McKinstry. He has a foot issue, couldn't perform. Wait, what did Pike say? That's not Pike. I guarantee it. That's fake Pike. That is fake Pike. Goff is still that I mean, David Pike's probably still crying. I can't see it. What did he say? I don't think Goff deserves an extension, is what he said, Leonard. Right. Unless we trade back and get a fourth. And if we do get a fourth, I would rather take Christian McCaffrey. Should I go get the DE Dana, the XKC DE? Um, I really don't think we need them. You did a great job addressing that between Davenport, Matthew Betts, and bringing back James Houston. I think we got a nice, yeah, Luke McCaffrey. Dookie Pickles in the chat. What's up? I got my Twitter guys out here. We got 50 guys watching and 4 likes. Let's get those likes up, people. I got 16 on Smoking Jeremy's page on Twitter. I got 5 on the Kneecap Batters, 13 on Football Talk, 2 on the Prowl, 16 on the squad. Yes. Yeah, I meant Luke McCaffrey, Christian's buddy. Anytime I see McCaffrey, CMC is the only thing that comes to mind. And when I hear CMC, I think back to the 90s and I want to start doing CMC Music Factory. Yeah, I'm getting old. I still love Cooper Beebe. I love Cooper Beebe. I like Cooper Beebe for one reason. He plays left tackle, left guard, right tackle. I think it would be awful to have Justin Jefferson because the amount of money he'd take against the cap would be way too much. I think Cooper Beebe is probably the most versatile and best guard in the draft in there, and Brandon Frisky is that tweener size. He's about 293 at 6'3". He can play inside or outside with his athleticism at a 4.78. He'd be great in the second round at 61, or if we traded back and get him earlier in the second round. But if we trade back, I doubt we get somebody like a Donnie Mitchell. You'd have to go to the next best one down after that. And I still think getting Worthy while we have Goff throwing the ball, who don't mind me, he has a deep ball, but it's not as accurate and it doesn't fly in there like it should. Cam Newton, you're not better than David Blau. You've been bad ever since you had your back busted in the car accident. Stop it. You were better than Goff your rookie year, and that's about it. I started calling you Scam Newton because you've been stealing a paycheck for 8 years before you retired. Right. I like Brendan Jackson late in the draft. I also like that Mohamed Kamara of Colorado State. I see him as a fifth round pick as well. Maybe a sixth at the latest. I also like Quantez Stiggers, the guy we brought in from the CFL. I'm thinking that he should be our pick at 249. You've been stealing checks from so many NFL teams and padding your bank account. You didn't deserve it there, Scam Newton. Von Miller took his soul. Cam was never the same after that game. No, Kamara is good too. Thank you, Dookie Pickles. I'm just gonna say Dookie. It sounds funnier anyway. What's up, Dookie? Man, I'm loving everything that we're doing here with Detroit. I do love the free agency moves. Our cornerback room is better automatically with who we got. I wish we'd have got Tavier Thomas. We didn't get him. That'd have been another piece. Everybody says trade away Cam Sutton, but they don't understand cap casualty stuff. I wouldn't trade him away. It makes no sense. maybe at week 8 down the road if somebody needed somebody in desperation. But at that point, he might be a valid CB2. Ryan Poles, the division is mine. Yeah, I think you, downgraded from Chinese checkers to tiddlywinks with that trade you did on Fields. I could care less where he wanted to go. You guys should have took the bag you needed 3 weeks ago. Atlanta offered you a bag, and you guys waited too long, and the Kirk Cousins news came out, and they said, "Oh, yeah, we don't want Fields if Kirk Cousins is a free agent," and I don't blame them. Justin Fields can't read a book, let alone a defense. Smoking dad in the building. Yeah, Holmes board should be fun. I think there's gonna be a lot of players that people don't expect that may be that 1st and 2nd round pick. I would love a Donnie Mitchell, Cooper Beebe, or Brandon Frisky in those 3 picks, but who knows what they're doing. We may trade back and take Darius Robinson, who's a tweener, and he probably should have tested with the DT since he was a DT 3 years in college and a DN for 1. And Tim, I agree with you. I would have made that trade with the T. Higgins and 2 firsts and a 3rd for Jefferson. That's a hell of a haul. Don't have a big drop off on talent. You still have your ex wide receiver. You still got Jordan Addison. You'd have been able to afford to keep KJ Osborne and extend Higgins at the same time. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? We're up to 10 likes. Don't forget to share this with all your Lions fans and any group you're in that it's not already going to. Don't forget to share it across Twitter. Don't forget to share it everywhere where Lions fans are. Keenan Allen can't stay on the field. DeAndre Swift disappears. Your defense is good. We draft Caleb, and everything will go to shit for the Bears. I don't want to say that. Caleb Williams is just a question mark. That's all you got. He's a rookie. You don't know what you're going to get in year 1 in the NFL. Subscribe. Yes, Dan Leonard, thank you for reminding me. Don't forget, it's that red button right down here next to the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. We only need 4 more, and we're on the Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions page, and we're gonna be giving away some memorabilia that Dan Leonard has made for whatever you want. Your pick. Correct, Dan Leonard, or is it just a mini helmet? A bit underrated receiver to me is Jermaine Burton. I hear he has some character issue, but man, he looks good and didn't have much of a quarterback at Alabama. I think 2nd round he'll see. Anytime you hear character issues, it's either a cup or a helmet. That's what the mini helmet, right? With Jermaine Burton, when I hear character issues, that's something Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have gone away. Orlando Escobar Jr. I'm still salty at what Greeny said. You know, I've listened to people talk crap about the Lions the last 2 off seasons in a row, and guess what? None of what they said about our Lions came true in the off season so far. Did we miss out on making the Super Bowl? Hell yeah, we did. The main reason, there's 2. We went away from the run, and just Josh Reynolds decided he didn't wanna play catch anymore. I don't care what anybody says. The right calls were played on those 4th down. They hit him in the damn hands. You make that catch. That's all you're paid to do. And if we'd have ran the ball, we'd have took another 2 minutes off the clock. They don't get the last touchdown. We stopped running the ball. We didn't run the ball after the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble until the 4th quarter. Oh, yeah. Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith is more of a believer in the Lions than he is a hater of the Cowboys. And here is your tidbit of the day. The Lions have been to more NFC championships since the year 2000 than the Dallas Cowboys. I agree, Keegan. Those are my guys that I like too. Donnie Mitchell, Xavier Leggett, Brendan Rice, and Luke McCaffrey. Brendan Rice is that generational guy, Jerry Rice's son. Luke McCaffrey, the brother to Christian McCaffrey, who started out as a quarterback, then wide receiver. Malachi Conley's another one. Okay. Dookie Pickles. What are my top three remaining free agents that I'd like to see get? Anyone that's less than the top 51 money because we don't have much left after these next few contracts hit the books. Because you got to save money for your rookie cap. And as long as you have a first round pick, you're looking at 14 million. The teams that pay 10 million or less don't have a first round pick. Carolina Panthers. Trotter, Ella. Don't forget Frank Gore Jr.'s in there too. Al Blades Jr., Benny Blades' kid is in this draft. Um, some of the coolest names that I've ever heard. There's a kicker named Connor Boomer. If that isn't the best kicker name since Seabass, I don't know. Connor or Kickalicious. Connor Boomer. There's a corner named Dude Person. There's another guy named DeRealis. Uh, we may get another piece after the June 1st cut day. And Jonah Ellis is Luther Ellis's son. Absolutely. We know who it is. Lita Trick Griffin and Storm Duck. DeColdis Crawford. I mean, there's a ton of them. There's a there's an offensive lineman named Rusty Beers. Come on. There's some great names in this draft. Can you imagine being No, there's no Dick Trickle this year, but that's one of the best names in racing ever. There's so many great names. Yeah, he rose up, he's into the 200s. Not as good as Rusty Kuntz. That's right. I mean, there's nothing better than that for everybody that mispronounced it wrong, they were saying it as Rusty Kuntz. Major Burns, the MASH guy. Major Frank Burns. Who was his girlfriend for you older guys? He hate me, Rod Smart. The old XFL when it was fun. He hate me, still the best name ever in football. I know. There was a guy that never made a roster, didn't get drafted in the 2005 draft out of Purdue. Loretta Swift. That should have been her name. Oh God, I don't want General Booty because he's straight booty. Yeah, General Booty. What a name. So, what's your questions today? What else do you want to know? I mean, we're sitting at 27.5, but after you take off the 6 million for that signing for Zeitler, 2.1 for DPJ that has to hit the books, and that's Major Houlihan. Yes, sir. That was Hot Lips Houlihan was Major Burns' girlfriend. That wasn't fair. I forgot Smoking Dad was in here. But how great is that to say that the Lions have been to more NFC championship games since 2000 than the Dallas Cowboys? How good does that make you feel? Oh boy, somebody's at the door. Right, we should be right about 19 mil after DPJ's contract, which would leave the 5 million that most teams keep for injury. We have 19. Mm, just a second. No, that is a cockapoo, a miniature cockapoo. She weighs 8 pounds, but she acts like a pit bull. Yeah, if you trade 29, then the cap space is better. But right now, you need 14 million with a first round pick. So that leaves 5 million left, which is what you will have for your cap room. So at 5 million, I don't think we're going to sign anybody more than $1 million contract because that would end up against the top 51. We're going to get a whole bunch of space fillers is what we'll get. A bunch of low tier guys. Everybody says it's bargain basement chopping, but guess what? Every now and then, and don't forget, we got to add the UDFAs from the draft, the undrafted free agent rookies. So there's a lot more room than everybody thinks. Right now, we're sitting at about 66, 67 players on the roster total with the 51 that counts against the cap. So that still leaves you 17 spots, and we only got seven. We only got seven spots to draft. Brad Holmes gets free agents at Dollar Tree. Absolutely. He kind of has to once the cap is gone. And we're spending up to the cap room. We got 23 million in dead cap between the voidable contracts and everything else. What do I think of T. Higgins? Yeah, they're right. It's a $3 million cap hit, and everything else is the other 11. So it's 14 million is what the cap room is when you have a first round pick. Oh, you're absolutely right, Brent. What do I think of T. Higgins? T. Higgins is a good outside guy, but I don't think he's worth much more. So hard to pay two top receivers now unless you have a rookie quarterback, and that's exactly it, Tim. That's why I think we're going to end up with another rookie wide receiver, whether it's in the first round or the third round. If it's the third round, give me Brendan Rice. Give me Brendan Rice. If you're taking one in the first round, I want a Donnie Mitchell. But if you trade back, that extra 3 million can be used to sign whatever after the June 1st cut. So there is something to think about as well. But with the way our roster's sitting right now, Josh Reynolds is as good as gone. He's visiting with Buffalo either today or tomorrow. He has another visit set up next week with another team. So good riddance. After with Lucas leaving a bottom tier corner, Roman Wilson in the second. I don't think Roman Wilson will fall that far. I think he's going to be gone in the first round. I think there's a lot more wide receivers going in the first round and corners going in the first round than anything. You're going to see five or six quarterbacks. You're going to see five, six, maybe seven wide receivers in the first round. You're going to see about eight D linemen and possibly another six O linemen. That 5 mil is what you keep for injury signings, Keegan. 9 times out of 10, we've kept 5 million on the books every year, and that's exactly why. So we can sign people off other people's practice squads or whatever else. Because if you sign them off practice squad, they go directly to the active roster. So you have to keep that money available because a vet minimum is $1 million automatically. That's gone. Oh, I believe so too, but I think Darius Robertson is his guy, and I think he can have him if he trades back out of the first, if that's who he wants. I think wide receiver is at the top of the list now. If you look at what we filled this offseason, I almost feel like it's wide receiver at 29 or they trade back. Right. we Paul Jones, you said it exactly right. We don't do cap shenanigans like San Francisco and New Orleans. Remember last year when we were talking about the free agent signings and the trades and why we weren't doing anything? And all of a sudden we found out that Chase Young was being traded to San Francisco, and I looked and it said they had 47 million in cap space. I was like, there's no goddamn way. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming in. We got 40 people watching, 12 likes. I'm going to go through and talk about my favorite thing to talk about, which is our favorite sponsor to yell out what it is in the chat. It's FTP. Is it the florist? No. Is it flog the porpoise? No. Is it free the puppies like they like to say on wrestling? No. It is the amazing fuck the Packers. Yes, and now Penny is here. She'll be quiet because she's being held in love. This is Miss Penny, the cockapoo that you guys hear that you threatened was a pit bull. Feeble Tony. Out of all the teams that went to the playoffs, we are in good shape. GB has done good too. Absolutely. Oh, Kuiper's latest mock draft has the Lions taking Xavier Legette. I hate that in the first round. Oh, that's funny, Keegan. Yeah, she's a goodie. She's a good girl. Say hello, Penny. Let's go back to my other sponsors. We got Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw. Give them a call 40 at 409 Saginaw, 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw, 989-443-9240 to make your appointment to get your windows tinted or your car detailed. He does excellent work. He was voted as the best window tinner in Saginaw. Give him a call today. Get your car ready for summer. And of course, my favorite sponsor that pays me, located right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road. That is Brandon Service. Great used tires at a great price. Tires starting at 40 bucks a piece, and new tires are by order. So you have to get your quote. Give us a call 810-233-8230, located at 602 West Atherton Road. Yes, she does. I love my little fur ball. At least I got her to be quiet. That's what that was for. Keegan, that's awful but funny. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts within here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Love every single one of you for being here. Normally I'd run through the names, but there was more than usual. I can't believe we had 50 watches first thing in the morning, and that's amazing. But again, I hope everybody has the day they deserve because you know what? I'm tired of telling people to have a great day when they don't deserve it. Mostly Chicago Bear fans, Green Bay Packer fans, and Vikings fans. This is Smoking Jeremy B signing out. We'll see you again at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Tonight, I'll be on Inside the Pigskin with my publishers show. And we also have a special guest that'll be on tonight. Coach Bonamego, John Bonamego, former head coach of the CMU Chippewas. and also former special teams coach for the Lions up until 2019. Leonard when he talks a lot of crap about golf. And Mel Farr Jr., son of Mel Farr, superstar, no less. He's also a part of that show. So tune in tonight. That starts shortly after 8, and I will air it right here on my channel for you. Have a great night, everybody. Peace, love, and chicken grease. And spade and neuter your bear.